I want to start out this video thanking you guys for your support of the channel. Since I put out my HK VP9 water test video, which has been by far my most popular, I've gained 10,600 views from that video, over 400 likes, and close to 250 confirmed subscribers just from that video. And that's astounding to me. I really thank you guys. I never expected that. But I wanted to share with you the story of how I came into getting the VP9 and why I was kind of willing to abuse it a little bit. It didn't really cost me as much as you might think. The story starts back in February of 2014. I picked up a Winchester Model 77-22 rifle, semi-automatic, very high quality. It was a great gun. I had red field target sights, very accurate, very reliable, and bought it from Cabela's for $180. I kept it for a few months, didn't really have a need for it, and I wanted to get something else. I had been looking for a Tokarev for a while, and so I hoped, hey, maybe I can do a little bit of horse trading and trade into a Tokarev. But I put up on Arms List, what do you have? And somebody said, hey, I got this Beretta model 1935. And that was a pretty cool gun. It was James Bond's first carry gun from Dr. No. That's the one that he trades into M when he gets his PPK. And, you know, it's a really cool gun. 32 auto, doesn't recoil at all. Very concealable, very high quality. The one that I got was made in 1957. And it was a great gun, but it was a 32. Didn't really have a need for it. I already had my PPKS that I carried all the time back then. And so I put it back on Arms List and was looking for another Tokarev. What can I get? And this guy was like, hey, I really like your Beretta. I'm a Beretta collector. And I've got this new in the box Springfield XDS 45. Would you be interested in trading for that? I was like, kind of thinking about it for a while, is like, I really don't want this gun because I have no use for it at all. A little single stack 45 ACP pocket gun. At the time, I just really didn't want it at all. But I looked up the retail price on them, and they're pretty expensive compared to the value of this little Beretta pocket pistol. I was like, well, I'm already on this trading kick. You know, I'll get it and see if I can sell it to somebody and get some cash, buy my Tokarev, and that'd be it. So I met with the guy and we traded straight across. He got the Beretta and I got the Springfield XDS, which was a great trade on my part because it came with a whole bunch of extra mags, which were very expensive, and it was a brand new gun with all the paperwork and everything. So I didn't have that gun more than probably 36 hours. I didn't really want it at all, and so it was instantly back on Arms List for sale. And that gun sold, I think it was the next day or the day after, and I sold it for $550 cash, which was a great deal for me. They're a little less expensive now, but at the time that was a pretty good deal for the buyer. And so I had my cash. I had turned a Winchester Model 77 that I bought for $180 into $550 cash. So I went up and visited a family friend up in Linden, I think is where he works, Linden, Washington, and went to a gun store looking for a Tokarev because that's what I wanted to buy. Ammo used to be cheap for the Tokarev. And while I was there, no Tokarev, but they did have this really, really cool Glock 34. Those of you who came from the HK video would think, you bought a Glock 34? Thought you hated Glocks. Well, no, I don't hate Glocks. I just don't care for them very much. Glock 34 is a really great gun. It's fantastically accurate, especially the one that I got. I just didn't care for the grip angle. It dug into my palm too much, and the trigger was just too mushy for me. But it was a heavily customized gun, had a KKM precision barrel, stainless match barrel, and it had some fancy grip texture, Seattle slug in the little hole behind the magazine well. Had adjustable night sights, box, and I think like 8 magazines for it, and a big 33 round stick mag. And I had it for a few weeks. I shot about 300 rounds of ammo through it, and it just, it wasn't for me. A lot of people would really like that gun for competition. It came with a Blade Tech competition holster, and you know, for competition it would be great, but for concealed carry or just plinking at the range, it wasn't comfortable enough for me. And so I had seen this ad for this new gun that came out from HK, and it was the VP9. I already owned a USP45 and was really impressed with the HK quality, so I figured, hey, might as well get this new gun when it comes out. So I managed to find a buyer for the Glock 34, and I sold it for $775 cash. And getting that much for a Gen 3 Glock 34 really shows you how much accessories and parts came with that gun. It was a pretty big package worth of Glock stuff. So I took the cash and I went out and started looking for VP9. It had just come out, and it was very hard to come by one, and I found one up at the Anacortes gun shop and left with it for $650 out the door, which at the time was a very good deal. Now you can get them for $550 out the door, which is an even better deal. But at the time, it was a new gun, still had the kind of inflated prices for a brand new gun with limited inventory. And so I got this brand new HK VP9, and it is a wonderful gun. Fit my hand perfectly. The trigger was perfect compared to the Glock, and it solved all of the problems that I had with the Glock 34. If the Glock 34 had the better grip angle, if it had a better trigger, I'd still have the Glock. It was a great gun, but the VP9 just had the slight edge, and so that's why I ended up with the VP9. But through this whole progression, I started out with this $180 22 rifle, and I turned it into a VP9. And since I only spent $650 on the VP9, and I had $775 from the Glock, I profited $125 off of that purchase. So my total cost for the VP9 was about 50 bucks. And I'd say 50 bucks for a 9mm pistol after a year of trading and shooting a bunch of really cool guns, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about the channel, about this video, about the VP9, just leave those in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing.